Respecting the traditional custodians, we acknowledge the Turrbal and Kaurna peoples as the original inhabitants of the lands now known as Brisbane and Adelaide. We pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging, and recognize their enduring connection to the land, waters and culture.
Welcome back to another episode of Brown Girls Down Under. It's episode 27. Can't believe it's 27 already.
30?
So I'm Dashani joining the podcast from South Australia, and I've got Shanali. How are you?
Good. Hi everyone. Hi Dash. How
are you going?
I'm good. It's very hot here. That's why I'm in a tank top. So winter is officially coming to an end here in Brisbane.
Stop bragging.
I'm not bragging. I'm not happy about it. Like, you already know how I feel about summer in Brisbane. I mean, it's not summer yet, but it's slowly approaching.
Yeah. But you kind of, don't you prefer a little bit more warmer weather over winter?
Winter's warm anyway. Winter's perfect.
Oh, that's true. Like in Brisbane, yeah.
So winter weather is just exactly what I need. But it's been raining all week this week because I think we had a storm coming from New South Wales, and there was talks of flooding and all that. Unfortunately my work didn't flood, so I still had to go to work. Unfortunately, yes. But I think with that it kind of changed the weather, so it was really, really hot today. But hopefully it'll get a little bit cooler over the next few days, because I'm not ready for winter to end. I know not a lot of people say
I'm
that.
ready.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I'm the odd one out.
It's a bit. Yeah, it's a little different over this side in South Australia.
Yeah.
Because 2 to 3 days ago we had like some beautiful weather. It was like 23 degrees and the sun was out. It was just so nice, and now we're back to rainy weather again. It was just like a little tease almost.
It's just trying to tell you, like, be prepared. The good days are coming,
Oh, yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah. But how has your week been?
Yeah,
school?
It's been, all right. Just very chaotic, very busy. I'm waiting for my parents to come back from Sydney. And I'm just so impatient.
Just living the life right now.
Yes, and I'm like, can you hurry up and come? Because I know you guys are not liking the weather there, so you better hurry up and come here. So they'll be here soon, so I'm really looking forward to that. How's your week been?
Have they been traveling?
Pardon?
Oh, have they been traveling a lot?
Not a lot, because of the cold. It's kind of limited, like what activities they can do. But they've been doing little things. But I've got some stuff planned out when they come here, so I'm really looking forward to that.
Oh, nice.
How's your week been?
Not bad actually. So I'm currently in my new team, so my third rotation and final rotation. So as a part of that, some of the jobs that I have to do, some of the projects were underground. They are underground. Okay. So I had to do my underground training again, because if you do your if you're wanting to go underground, you have to do this safety orientation training. It just tells you about what sort of PPE you have to wear underground and what things to look out for, and it's a bit different than the surface. So if you do the training and then you don't go underground for 6 months, you have to do the training again. So I did that, and then I got to go underground. It was just pretty. It's pretty cool.
Sounds cool.
It's really cool. It's just that it's really cool, but not when you have to do it every day.
I suppose.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think there was a shutdown, so there was a lot of maintenance. So you get to see a lot of things that you don't usually see when everything's in operation, because everything's pulled apart and they're just repairing stuff or doing things like that. So a lot of machinery that you don't usually get to see the inside of.
Oh,
Like you get
nice.
to see that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
and
Speaking
then
of
I was
training,
back-
by the way, sorry to interrupt you, but
No,
like I've spoken before about how I do like a retail job on the weekends. So today I had a very long shift, like a 10-hour shift, and I had to do training. I think I spent about 3 hours just doing trainings that I was like really
Wow.
overdue on. And
Yeah,
one of the
right.
latest things that they've tried to bring in, I think, to make people be more engaged in training, because you know how some trainings, especially if it's online, you just zone out, right? Like your
Yeah.
brain just goes into
You just do the maximum speed
Yes.
and then but you also want to take time to do it
Yes,
because it's still like you're still
exactly.
getting paid for
Exactly.
it, but it's so boring.
It's so boring. I know. So anyway, they've now got VR, like virtual reality, to do.
What?
Yes. So they have. So a few weeks ago, they brought in like the masks and the like the tools, and I was like, surely not. Like, what is this? What's going on? But anyway, today
Oh my
I had to do that. They
God.
were like, you know, this one training, you can't complete it unless you've done the VR component. I was like, I truly, in that moment, I felt like a boomer, because I was like, I don't know what to do.
I don't want to do
Yeah,
this.
I was like, can you just give me something on the screen so I can just click? And that's all I want to do. I don't want to do VR. But then I just could not figure out this stupid VR thing. I was watching videos on it, trying to like, I just couldn't figure out what to do. And then I had to call my manager, who is a boomer, and he taught me how to do it. How the tables have turned. I know. But it's so funny, because like we were in the office room and I was doing it, and I had to basically sit in the middle of the room and then put that on and then like kind of do the training, with the whole
But
room.
what if someone comes into the room
That's
and
what
then
I'm saying. So it was so awkward, because I was wearing that big chunky mask and I could hear people coming in, and I think I was getting too invested in the training that I just kept kicking things.
Was it fun? Like, was it different?
It was because it was like basically talking about how like abusive customers, like how to deal with abusive customers, that kind of thing, right?
okay.
So it gives you like real life scenarios on what you can do, and then like setting up the store and that kind of thing. So it's pretty good, like where you actually focus, but it's just it's like a sensory overload, because it's like you can see something in front of your face, but then when you like try to touch it with your foot, I'm like kicking a bin or I'm kicking a chair or something, and I'm not actually touching what I'm seeing. You know?
Yeah, but then you also hear and feel things that are actually in your actual environment.
Exactly,
So
like
it's
people
a bit,
coming, walking around, sitting at computers, doing stuff, and like my brain was so confused, but it was also like
And
good.
you look funny also to other people,
and
right?
also I wasn't like wearing my glasses, because you can wear your glasses if you want to, but I took it off, so everything was like a little bit blurry, and it was just it was just a lot. Okay, like it was a lot of emotions going on at that moment.
Oh my God.
And then I actually spoke to one of my colleagues. She's I think 17 or 18, and I was telling her, I was like, oh my God, I felt like so old. I was like, is this how our parents feel like when they can't do something? And she's like, no, I felt the same way. Like, I didn't want to do it either. So I know that made me feel better. I was like, oh,
You feel better.
Gen Z is struggling too, because I totally felt like so old in that moment.
Yeah.
But so it was just a very exciting day.
Well, VR, all of that is like quite common in certain industries, where like in other industries they hardly use it at all.
This is the first time I've ever
like,
used it.
I haven't used it at all. So there's like I know in the city, in Adelaide City, you have like VR like games and stuff that you can go in and play. But I've never actually wanted to. But maybe it'll be a good experience.
Yeah.
I'll make sure to wear my glasses.
Yeah, you'll probably have to, because I know you are blinder than me, so you'll probably have to do it.
Yeah.
But it was fun anyway.
Oh, that sounds interesting. I might actually give that a go then.
Yeah, you should.
Nice.
Yeah, I know that in
But,
Sri Lanka, in like some shopping center in Kandy, they actually have like a show where you kind of sit on some kind of like a car or something, and then they
Or like a chair,
Yeah.
like they have. Yeah. I think I've seen that.
So that's pretty cool. I mean,
somewhere.
for Sri Lanka, it's pretty advanced.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know this is a completely different topic. I just thought like to give like you know, we were talking about the week, our weekly updates, but then I just got this blind pimple
I did notice the
on
pimple
my
patch.
face. Yeah, oh my god, like I'm like I consider myself very lucky. I don't get like
Yeah.
breakouts that often. But if I do,
It's painful.
it's like the most painful cystic like blind pimple that's like underneath your
I
skin and you
hate
can't do
those
anything
ones.
about it.
I know. I hate it.
And then you can't even talk because it's like every time like your facial muscles move, it's just like so painful. And then I think I got it this Friday. Like Friday I woke up and there was this like it was like so
Surprise.
painful. Yeah, and then honestly I couldn't think of I couldn't recognize whether like it was a pimple or was it like did like Zoe scratch me or was it because she does that, she touches my face a lot and it's probably from the germs.
I was gonna say, I was like, I don't want to hurt you, but I feel like she might be the problem.
Yeah, and then I was like, because there's been a lot of things that I changed, right? Because I have been wearing a little bit of makeup more often than I used to because I go to the office now. And then Zoe has been touching my face as well. So maybe it's Zoe because I might need to wash her hands and legs.
Oh, is it the time of the month or no? You don't get that?
No. See, that's what I think. That's what I mean. Like that doesn't happen to me.
Yeah.
And it also and if I get breakouts, it's mostly around in the most awkward places as well, where like I wear my glasses or my nose bridge. Yeah. Which makes sense because sometimes I forget to clean my glasses. Yeah. So that makes sense, but they're not like painful. But now I've just got this massive thing here, and then it had because it was like a blind pimple. You can't. There's no head or anything there. So I applied some benzoyl peroxide. Yeah. I had it just like I don't know why I even bought that, but I had it. And then I applied some as a spot treatment, and then I went to bed. And then I wake up and there was like this massive head there.
Oh, that's good.
I think everything, that's good. Everything came to the surface, but it's still very painful. Like sometimes
at least
you just
it's not in a place you can see though. Like it could be worse.
True.
Like it could be like on your chin or your nose.
Yeah, one time I had it on my cheek like right here. Yeah. It was massive and I didn't know at the time. That was the first time I got one, and then I didn't know what to do because it was like it's so big because it's under your skin and it's just like. But when you actually touch it, it spread a lot more deeper and so painful. And now I put a pimple patch on it and hopefully sucks everything out of that thing. But anyway,
what a fun week we've had.
I know, yeah. But not speaking of pimples, but speaking of not annoying things, but also fun things, have you been watching the Olympics?
Briefly, I actually wasn't. I mean, the Olympics are over now, so.
I know. But then I feel like, I don't know if this is because I haven't been paying much attention to it, but I feel like the Olympics, like, it happened, like
it ended quite fast.
It went so fast, yeah. But I don't know if it's because, back in Sri Lanka, when the Olympics were taking place, you would watch it a lot more. Yeah. I don't know if it's because we were in school and we had to watch it because we get asked all these questions about it in the exam. I don't know if that's why. Yeah. But I feel like in Sri Lanka, or I don't know if like in like television, like in media in Sri Lanka, you get like, you show, like, I don't know, they broadcast Olympics a lot maybe. But
and also I feel like maybe we have more like other options to watch now instead of watching the Olympics.
Yeah, maybe we just don't watch TV. Like I honestly don't watch TV.
Watch TV either anyway, so
maybe we're like now adults and we just couldn't care
like
less
everything
about
I just saw about the Olympics was whatever I saw on social media. That was it. Like nothing extra.
Yeah. But also, when was breakdancing a thing
It's
in
new.
Olympics?
It's
Is this the first
it's
time?
the first
or
time it's happened, and now they're saying that Australia might
It's
never.
probably the last time. How
Thanks to a
embarrassing.
certain lady.
Rachel Gunn. Oh my god. How do you like did you see the routine?
I didn't watch the full thing. I just watched little bits of it, but
Girl, it was so
was it so
embarrassing.
cringe? It looks.
It
I'm sorry.
was.
It's just so meme worthy. Like it's fully.
It
It's like she
is.
intended on becoming a meme.
I mean, I don't know, like a lot of people say that I don't know if that was a publicity stunt because but the attention she's getting now is not the good
It's
type
not,
of attention.
and it's not good for
right?
Australia as well. I think it's like
It is,
very
yeah.
embarrassing as a country if that's who you're gonna send. But then I
Yeah.
heard people saying that she has won like dance competitions and stuff.
So I watched a couple of clips where she speak about. So she's got a background in dancing,
Yeah.
right? She's done ballet and some contemporary dancing or whatever, and then she met her husband and who is her coach, by the way.
Oh.
And then he introduced her to breakdancing, and she calls it like it annoys me. Like it's not annoying, like it's so cringe because she calls it breaking, and she talks about it like it's the most like groundbreaking discovery, breakdancing, which is like I almost feel like it's cultural appropriation.
Yes, I was
what she's
literally just
doing.
going to talk about that because I did see a few people say that as well.
Yeah.
Because she was kind of just making a joke out of, like.
Almost
Yeah.
like that's not the culture. I know that I don't know, like honestly you can't, like the first time you see it you can't think, like you don't know if she's actually trying to make a joke or if she's actually being serious and she thinks that this is such a clever thing to do. It's ridiculous because and then she says that I have a PhD in breaking, but no, that's not a thing.
No.
You have a PhD in like cultural studies.
Right, okay.
And she's published a few articles, published a few theses around the breakdancing culture and how it affects different genders, and there's obviously it's like a very male dominated industry, and how it affects all of that. And that's or something I saw someone saying this is a clear example of just because you're the expert of something, like you have the you're the subject matter expert of something, doesn't mean that you're the best person at executing that task.
Yeah.
You can be very good. That's why there's this amazing engineering lecturers, but that doesn't mean that they're the best engineer out there. So, and some people also say, I don't know the actual legitimacy of this, but some people say that she rigged the actual selection, the competition or criteria. Apparently it wasn't announced Australia-wide that they were starting to select for Olympics, like breakdancers for Olympics. Right. And a lot of her competitors that were in the Olympics were 16, 17 years old, and she's out here breakdancing when she's 36 years old, which is there's nothing wrong with that. It's just so obvious because it's obvious that she isn't very good at it because she didn't score any point. Like it's zero.
That's
I don't know how
embarrassing.
It is. And the worst part is that look, she, I don't know, I mean maybe she rigged the system, she whatever she did, that's fine. But now there's an actually good break dancer, a male break dancer, a boy who's performing really well in the Olympics, but no one's actually who performed well in the Olympics, but no one's talking about him. No one's talking about the gold medalists, and everyone's just talking about her stupid dance. I don't know. And apparently her husband was in the selection board as well.
Oh,
I don't know.
really?
This is some next level corruption for Australia. I mean, it's not new to Sri Lanka, but it's some next level. Maybe they were taking lessons from
But
Sri
the
Lanka. It's
Olympics
ooh.
is like the greatest sporting event where
I
literal
know.
experts go to it. Like you dedicate your life to train for it,
To
to be the
train.
best at it. And then
Yes.
like this,
And then you see this, and it's like, this is the best Australia has to offer.
yeah, it's like
And
so
and then she's
embarrassing.
like, oh, you know what? I want everyone to think like, I hope everyone, I inspired everyone to just go have a crack at something. I'm
No.
like, Olympics is not the place to have a crack.
Yeah.
You
You
know,
can
you're
have
supposed
a
to
crack at your
perform.
local breakdancing competition in the park. Not,
Oh my god.
not at the Olympics.
God, bro, that was just embarrassing. I honestly, I haven't been embarrassed to be like, to say that, oh, I'm applying for Australian citizen. Like, I would have been embarrassed. Like, I would never, after that, I would never introduce myself as an Australian ever. Even if I had the citizenship, I would
Because
never.
everyone's like now
That's
talking
embarrassing.
about it, and it's
Yeah.
Yikes.
Oh, that was like, I know like people are making, it's nice that people are laughing at it and not taking it way too seriously. It's nice. But oh my god, that's not the platform to do it.
No, absolutely not.
It's just hilarious. But look, hilarious though. I saw like in some video Adele actually spoke
I did
about
see
it.
that,
And
yeah.
then she was like, I wasn't sure whether she was like, actually making a joke. Was that the real thing? But it was hilarious. At least she's making people laugh, so that's
I
nice.
suppose.
Yeah, clearly. But also, I don't know. I mean, I showed you this video as well of Jemima, who's like a marathon, I think, athlete, an Olympian athlete, and that's like amazing, right? Like that's the athlete, that's the inspiration you want to see.
Yeah.
I saw this video on my LinkedIn, and I thought like I got quite emotional about it because she's obviously won the bronze medal, and then there was an interview of her, like the person congratulating her and then asking about how she's feeling, and then she speaks about how she was like, I guess it's becoming more prominent now, but not a lot of money was invested in female like sports or women in sport back in the day, but I think it's now changing, but it's still got a long way to go. But she was speaking about how when she was like young, she was thinking about she wasn't sure if she deserved to be in this sport, and whether she wanted to take it to the Olympic level. But she's glad that she's done it. But she also, like, 'cause one thing that I really admired was that she spoke about how wanting to win like Olympics, or like wanting to perform at Olympics and win was a want for her, not a need.
Yeah.
Because as soon as it becomes a need, then that's gonna affect her mental. Like if she does, it's good to need that, but it's also like
It determines your worth,
when you don't.
I think.
Yeah. When you don't achieve it, it you start to question. When it becomes a need, you start to question your self-worth, and it's gonna start affecting your mental health. And she speaks about when it's a want, when you want to win it, but you don't. But like, let's say, like you can't always. You're not gonna always keep winning things. One day when you don't win, the sun's still gonna shine, and it's not the end of the world. And you're still very capable, and you're still worthy of being who you are. And I thought that was really nice because, as women, we already have so much pressure to achieve things and wanting to achieve things, so that we don't set ourselves back. We don't set the generations to come behind. And we want to achieve things, but not at the cost of your peace and your mental health. And not to be defeated by when you don't achieve what you want to achieve, and just to, you know, keep trying. It's okay to fail. Failure is always good, because then you learn, and then you...
It's obviously easier said than done, because obviously it's such a commitment to even get to the Olympics. And then when obviously people around you are, you know, talking about it, and your family has such high expectations of you, like, it's easy to...
Your country.
Your country.
When your country has such high hopes.
And I think this is like, I mean, obviously it has nothing to, like, not really similar, but kind of like, you know, how in Sri Lanka, the whole thing of being a doctor is so... like highly regarded, or a doctor or whatever, I don't know, lawyer, whatever. And from the time you're young, that's kind of what you are told to be, you know, that's what's put into your head. I was watching an interview recently. It's just those random clips that come up, you know, on my social media that I know nothing about, no context, nothing. But it was this, like, certain actress, I think, and she's also a doctor on the side. She was talking about how she really, really wanted to pursue, like, the arts subjects. She wanted to get into that. But then when she was choosing subjects, her father always pushed her to do medicine. And then the father was just like, no, why don't you do medicine? And then, or like bio subjects. And she was like, no, I wanted to do art. But he was like, no, I think you should do it, you know, and kind of pushed her into it. And then she went on to be a doctor. She got selected to medical school, which is like very impressive, you know, in Sri Lanka. And then her father passed away 3 months before she graduated as a doctor. So she was like quite devastated, which is like obviously very sad and very devastating. But then the thing is, if that didn't happen, you know, and we know plenty of people who haven't either gotten into medical school or didn't go on to become doctors, and then their whole identity is the fact that they should have been a doctor, you know, it's just, and then their whole worth is that. And it applies to a lot of things in life, you know, it's not just being a doctor, an Olympian or whatever. It's just when it becomes your whole personality, your whole identity, the reason you are surviving kind of thing, then you kind of tend to lose yourself. And
because you're dedicating years of your life into achieving this thing, and then you're told that, you know, people are going to love you if you achieve this thing. You know, your parents are going to love you. The parents are going to be so proud of you. Your family, your relatives are going to be so proud and happy that when you achieve this thing, and you're like, you know, your sanity is depending on it.
And you're seeking validation from those other people instead of actually doing it for yourself, you know. So I think that's why, like, I watched that video you told me, like you sent me, and it's so impressive of her to even come in third place, and to even really emphasize on that, which is so important, like such an important topic. And she probably didn't really need to say it at that point, but she did, because she really wanted to drive that message through. I think that is pretty impressive.
Because sometimes, you know, achieving things is really important because for your fulfillment, for your satisfaction, but it's also like you're protecting your peace is far more important. Absolutely. You know, like having that inner peace, saying like you've done this, you've reached this, and you're worthy of everything you want to be. And I think I found that very emotional because you know, it's quite, for a lot of women to be in male-dominated industries now, like a lot of us are, and you start to, you know, imposter syndrome is so out there when you're working in these industries, and sometimes, you know, you start to question yourself, like, am I worthy to be here? Do I deserve to be here? And then I was like talking to MJ about this as well. Sometimes, you know, you see people, and then sometimes you think, oh, was I hired to be in this role because I'm a woman, or was it because I have the skill? And then something MJ told me that I found like really, I was like, oh yeah, that's true, was that he said, look, some like years ago, a white male was hired just because he was a white male, not because he had the skill. Right? Just for that. So even if you were hired just because a woman, that's fine, because at least you're having that imposter syndrome, and you're going to always work hard to improve yourself, so you're always on the right path or on the right track to grow and to get better. Sure. Whereas years ago, a white male was hired just because he was a white male.
And he was proud of it.
He thought he deserved it. Yes, he thought he deserved it. So, yeah, and I thought, I was like, that's actually
Look
true.
Look at MJ, spitting facts.
I know, I know.
Once in a while, you know.
Doing a lot better. Yeah, I got to train him up. You got to train them young. Oh, good.
So, talking about, things that have been spoken a lot about on social media lately. Have you seen the drama surrounding Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds and It Ends With Us and everything?
Yeah. Look, I don't think I know the whole background of it, but I've definitely seen some clips, and it's definitely noticeable what everyone's pointing out. Look, I haven't read the book. I know that it's about domestic violence. Have you read the book?
I have. So basically, for those of you who are living under a rock and you don't know, It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover, the book. It's a very popular series, and the first one is called It Ends With Us, and then the sequel to that It Starts With Us. So anyway, I read both books. So the movie came out of It Ends With Us, and it was obviously starring Blake Lively and Justin Bald.
I don't know.
Justin something Bald something. Anyway, sorry, I really like the guy. I feel so bad that I don't know his name. But anyway, so it was starring
and
the two of them.
And he was the director?
He was the director,
Okay.
So I think he was the director, and Blake Lively was a producer. Okay. So anyway, it came out, and there's a lot of talk about how each of them are kind of publicizing and promoting the movie. So I have been a Blake Lively fan and Ryan Reynolds fan for a long time, and it's really disappointing. So basically the book, I have read the book, and like I enjoyed the book. I liked the message that it gave. I don't know how I feel about Colleen Hoover, because as an author, I think her writing is a bit, not great. But this story was good. I think there were a few like weird, cringy bits.
But do you think the story really captured the domestic violence aspect how women go through?
Yeah, I didn't watch the movie. I haven't watched the movie yet, but I read the book, and I think the book it really shows like the cycle of domestic abuse, domestic violence, and how like you are so enthralled and attracted to a person, and they have so much power over you that you don't even realize your worth, and that you are actually in a domestic violence relationship kind of thing. So it's
sometimes you don't, because you're so phased about how you love someone, you're so attracted to that person, you don't realize that you're being
and it's also kind of like a brainwashing, at the end of the day. That's so it is like really good for you to read that, and I think it's quite confronting if you have been through. I'm very grateful I haven't, but if it's someone who's been through it, it's quite confronting to read it. So anyway, they made the movie to this, and the way Blake Lively is promoting it is I feel like she's trying to kind of be a little bit kind of Taylor Swift kind of thing. She's talking about...
Because, look, I think they're very different personalities as well.
Yeah.
Look, I feel like Blake is more like, Ryan Reynolds could never do a movie like that.
No.
Like he could never play a role like just the role Justin plays. I feel like that's not his character.
No.
He's more like the Deadpool. Like he has his genre.
Yeah, exactly.
And he brings so much joy into the world in his characters that he play, and he's great at that. But I feel like Blake is also a more bubbly, a more lively character, where her personality, and I think I don't know how. I mean, I know I haven't seen a lot of her work, so I think she can. Oh, but I have seen Madeline, or I can't remember. But I thought she was great in that movie, and I think she's capable of, like, you know, acting and portraying these characters. I think that, but I feel like she's failed to capture the message of the book, whereas she's more focused on. Because she's again, she's a fashion icon, and she's like, that's her, she loves doing that. I get that. And she's also, I think, recently launched like a hair care brand. And I feel like that somehow you can't be promoting a movie about domestic violence and also switching your entire personality to promote something like that, because you need to be bubbly, lively, and all of that. So I think somehow it's just been I hope that's just like, it's been unfortunate timing, and she wanted so much publicity. I'm pretty sure her PR team wanted this to happen at the same time, because then you get a lot of attention. But I feel like I think she's failed, and all of these videos from her past of her being like not the great person are like popping up as well. So
but even
I think
like,
she's just,
the thing is, I get having like launching your product or whatever in the middle of this, like it is quite a significant milestone for her to be in this movie, so I think it is an achievement. But she could address like interview questions differently. So I was watching this interview where, like, you must have seen it as well, like she's sitting with her legs up on a sofa, and they ask about you know, if someone approaches you and says they're going through something similar like this, how would you advise them, you know, what would you tell them to do? Man, you could have taken that question and run away with it. You could have said so many things, and women would have listened to you, because you are Blake Lively, because you have so much influence. They would have actually listened and respected. Instead, she said some BS. Like, I think she's just trying to be like Ryan Reynolds. I feel like she's trying to be that funny, quirky. She's trying to take on a little bit of her husband's personality. So she
but
just
this
made
is
a
not
joke
the
out of it.
project
No, it's
for
not.
that.
So she made a joke out of it. She was like, oh, like, what? You want me to give you my number? Do you want me to give you a location? Like, what? Like, are you high or something? Like, what are you talking about? That has nothing to do with the question, you know? And
it's to a point where, like, it sounds like very unrealistic, very ridiculous. It's sounding very ridiculous. So I don't know if it's like, if they're doing it on purpose.
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah,
like as in a publicity stunt, you know, like, but it's gonna look very bad on her.
It does. That's the thing. Like, at what cost? At what cost, when you have such a loyal fan base and like people, like a cult following? Like, I still see people like fighting for her and like, do not try to cancel Blake Lively. She'll never get cancelled. But I'm like, actually, sweetie, I think she's about to get cancelled, because she's not doing a great job.
Like, do you really want to speak like this when you have, like, you know, daughters? Like, do you not see, you know, this is something that everyone could go through? Do you see your kids going through? Like, why? Like, and the way she's promoting, like, wear your florals, come see this movie. I'm like, honey, it's not about florals.
Girls, like, you know, you can make like.
Look,
That's not what it's about.
I haven't. Yeah, and I haven't seen the movie. I don't know if there's a fun aspect to it. Like, I've never even read the book, so I don't know if there's like a fun side to it, like, before it gets to the domestic violence.
So his name's Justin Baldoni. That's his name. But he and there it's a happy ending. You know, it's a happy ending in the end. But and then the sequel to it is also a happy ending. But it's just, it was, you had so much opportunity to make it a big message and to make it a big
bring
deal,
awareness,
and that's what Justin Baldoni did. Like,
he's doing
every interview, he doesn't even need to do that. Like, he's, you know, it's amazing. He's being an ally for domestic violence, all that, and he says, even if one person who's watching this takes something from the movie and changes their life, that's all I want. That is just such a simple statement that has such a big impact. And if she said that, women would have actually listened, you know. So
And she should be the person saying that, but she's the victim in this movie.
Yeah,
she
exactly.
portrays the victim.
Exactly, yeah.
So she knows more than anyone how what sort of experience a victim goes through.
Yeah.
And for her to, I don't know, Blake.
And then, like,
I mean, I
Ryan
really
Reynolds-
like you. I want to like you.
like Ryan Reynolds coming into it and just, I get him trying to be a supportive husband, but then he just like barges into it and just makes it about himself and like just making a joke out of it.
Oh, I haven't seen his videos.
Yeah, he does.
Oh, is he promoting the film as well?
Well, obviously because Deadpool and Wolverine and Deadpool is obviously came out at the same time. So they're kind of doing a little bit of cross promotion. And he did come into an interview where they interviewed the other guy who was in the movie.
I saw that. Yeah.
And then he like, because honestly, when I watched that, I had a laugh about it as well. But then afterwards, like then I realized, okay, this is what the movie's about. All that I was like, whoa, this is not funny. This is not something that you should be laughing about because it's it's not what the book is.
But the
about.
actual awareness I think the awareness piece should be actually coming out of Blake.
But
because
also the
that's
fact
what's
is
important.
that even the author, like Colleen Hoover, she's really good friends with Blake and she doesn't really seem to be concerned about it either. Which is
And I remember when they first announced that they were making a movie out of this book, I believe like Colleen is the person who actually wanted Blake to play the character of Lily or whoever. And when they announced it, there was a big hype around, it's amazing, Blake's the actual she deserves to play this role, she's the best person for this role. There was a big hype around that as well, I remember. But I think I've seen some of the clips from the movie, and I feel like she's like, she's portraying the character. Like her acting is not bad.
Yeah.
Like it's not. I've seen terrible acting before, but like that's not bad. But I think it's just the promoting.
That's the thing. And like personally, like I am planning to watch the movie like next weekend, but I just don't know if I can see it the same way anymore. And like they've really given me the ick, the two of them. I actually unfollowed them on social media because I was like, I don't really want to see any of your promotions. But it's just not a great look, and
it's not, especially like it defeats it takes away the message or like the hype that they had around the book as well. So many people loved and adored this book, and now it's almost tainted.
Like you can be your funny, bubbly, quirky self in something else. You can literally do anything you want and people will still worship the ground kiss the ground you walk on. You'll be fine. You didn't have to use this to do that.
And I saw some clips of not clips, like photos, I don't know if it's actually true, but of like Justin and Blake arguing while they were shooting, and then some where she's like also said that Justin made her so uncomfortable when she was like shooting some scenes, or I don't know the truth of it.
She has said that he kind of fat shamed her because he has like back problems, and he had apparently asked the doctor like how much she weighs and then what things he can do to strengthen his back to carry that weight, which I think is a pretty it's like
it's not he didn't ask her to like lose weight or anything.
No, exactly, it's like a pretty legit question, if you're concerned about you. And any dummy can look at her and know that she's not overweight, so it's just it's silly. So I don't know, it's just
I feel like she's just scraping the barrel to find something.
That's the thing. This is like very, very like high school Mean Girls kind of Gossip Girls kind of drama.
Almost. But you know what though? It makes me think so she was in Gossip Girl, and I haven't seen Gossip Girl. Was she a good character, like a nice person in Gossip Girl? Or?
I watched it.
Have you seen?
I have watched it. I've watched the whole series.
Yeah. So she was Serena or someone.
Yeah. So she was like this snooty rich. She was a nice character though, but she was a rich girl, like a fashionista rich girl, that kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
But I almost feel like, I don't know like if this actually happens, but some actors when they like get casted into a role, and and then they kind of live in that role for a long time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then they try to get like some of the character traits from those characters they take into their own lives. And then and I heard like one of these Bollywood actor, Ranveer or someone, once he played like a very dark character. But when he was offered the role, he actually speaks about this, and he's like, he initially refused the role because he thought it was way too dark and he won't be able to come back, because he's like, he just, when he discusses how when he plays a role, he just starts acting like that role until the film's finished, because he needs to stay in that character. And sometimes it's not very healthy, but it helps him with his performance, is what he's saying, which is fair. Because you as an actor need to make the audience, you need to convince the audience that So he's told that this character is like, it's amazing, it's got so much to show, but it's just too dark, and he's just so scared that he won't be able to snap out of it, and which makes me think like maybe Blake has acted in like a very mean girl role way too much,
but
and now she's like,
so long ago though.
True. No, but that's what I'm thinking. Like maybe like, or I mean, it might not be the case, and this might be her actual personality. Who knows?
No,
like,
I really think she's trying to be a bit like her husband, like maybe because like she lives with him every day, and that's his personality, and that's what he's known for, being that like really goofy, silly, funny person, and then she's trying to do it, but she's not doing a great job at it, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think, look, it's okay, to bring like, be that funny person and bring joy. That's fine, but there's a time and place for everything.
Sweetheart, read the room.
Yeah.
This is not the place, not the time, not the place. Yeah.
It's very sad though. It's very unfortunate that this is happening.
It
But
really is,
anyway. So we shall hear from you then after next week how the movie was, and we can get a review, and then I'll consider watching it.
Absolutely, yes. You should read the book. I mean, read the book. It's a bit cringy, some parts.
Okay.
But I don't want to spoil it for you. I won't say it, but just read it.
Yeah, but that's the thing though, when I know that this is something that I'm gonna expect, like, and then I'm just like, I don't want to. Yeah. Like, because when you read something, you're so invested in it, and it affects you in so many levels. Because one time I remember I read this book. I was in school. I was like in year 9 or something. I didn't have the, sometimes you read traumatic things, but, like sometimes you're mature enough to not be affected by that a lot. But I felt like I read this book and I was young and I wasn't mature enough to, I don't know, handle that. I read this book about, again, domestic violence and abuse and all of that in the Middle Eastern countries. It was based on this woman and how she gets abused and all of that. I remember I read that book and I cried and I was so scared to go to bed. Aww. Because I was like, I was in year 9 and I was like, I couldn't wrap my head around that something like this, and this was based on a true experience, and I couldn't get my head around that someone's gone through this experience. I don't know, like I couldn't think of, I was just like obviously empathizing and I was just imagining myself in that situation. I couldn't imagine the amount of pain that person has gone through. Like I couldn't. And I was like almost having nightmares about it. And then I remember I told my mom and I went and slept with her.
Oh, cute.
Because I was, but that's what I'm saying. Like sometimes I stop myself from reading books like that, or even watching movies like that. Because I know that I get so invested in it, and that's gonna affect you. But imagine someone's gone through that experience watching that. Can't.
I think speaking of domestic violence, I think if you were to ever watch a movie or a series, there's this series called The Maid. I don't know if you've seen it.
Is it a Hollywood movie?
It is, yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember the name of the actress because she does such a good job.
Is it a TV series?
I'm just trying to...
Or a...
It's
movie?
a movie. It says it's a movie. Oh, no, wait. Maybe it is a series. But anyway, it's like
Okay.
so good. I cried. I was sobbing like watching it. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
right.
And I actually recommended it to some of my friends, and one of my friends has gone through a
Okay,
really
I'll give
bad
it a go.
DV situation, and she was like she couldn't watch it. Like it was so traumatic for her that she just couldn't watch it. But it's amazing. Like you really see the strength that women possess, and especially when
Yeah.
there's children involved, like what you wouldn't do
Yeah.
for your children. It's incredible. Like such a good show. Highly
See, I
recommend.
watch these type of movies, and then I'm like, I get so mad at MJ. I was like, why are men like this? Honestly, like the world would be so much better without you people in it.
I agree.
And I feel bad for him because it's not his fault, and he's like, oh, here we go again.
He's like, I'm one of the good ones. Why are you yelling
I
at me?
didn't do anything. I was like, I do understand it, but it's your job to go out there, meet you people, and just get them to stop doing
I
this shit
know,
because it's so bad.
I mean, that being said,
And-
domestic violence does go the other way as well. We have
Yeah,
to.
yeah,
But
of course,
like,
yeah.
if you look at, statistics, unfortunately, it is more.
But physically, females are less weaker, so it's easy to,
Yeah.
you always try to overpower the weaker person. So, yes, it goes both ways. I agree. But yeah, speaking of that, we're very sad to hear what's happening in Sri Lanka and also
India.
in India at the time, now. What's more infuriating is that. So what happened in Sri Lanka is like a 16-year-old girl, schoolgirl, got raped by 22 boys. And then no one knew about it until it I don't know I think I got the details right, but she got pregnant and someone in the hospital reported it to the police, and then they found out that this happened. So apparently the principal of the school, some teachers, like female teachers, kept this quiet because they didn't want to tarnish the school name. How horrible does the education system have to be able to do this? And apparently they've now identified 17 out of the 22 schoolboys
I have
doing
no
like
words. I literally have no words.
how horrible or how far gone do you have to be mentally? Like, schoolboys, you're under 18. There's a lot of innocence, there's a lot of empathy when you're like, imagine you, like when I was going to school, I couldn't even, to this day, I can't even see like, I get mad when, MJ screams at Zoe. Like, I can't. I get, like, stop doing it. I can't see, I can't watch anyone hurt an animal even. For you to be under 18 and do this to a 16-year-old girl, I don't know if your mind can be recovered.
That's
like
how
for you to be under 18.
depraved they are. I mean, obviously she was not sitting there just enjoying it, like she was obviously in a lot of pain and agony. And then you just like, do you not, like, you don't have to have sisters or moms or whatever, but do you not think
That's
of it like that?
basic humanity.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm saying. I think they're far too gone to be even
they're
like
so
you can't.
depraved.
There's nothing left. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're bringing kids into this world, like, do not have kids if you can't make them good citizens. Like, you can't provide a good citizen, a healthy, someone with a healthy mindset to the society. If you can't release them into the society as a good human to the society, if you can't bring up a good human to the society, don't have kids. Like, if you don't have the mental health, the mental capacity, the mental strength, if you have not yet identified, if you haven't taken any actions against your traumatic experiences, and if you don't feel fit to bring other humans into this, don't do it.
It's okay. You don't have to do it.
Yeah, you don't have to. You don't
really
have to
okay.
bring in babies into this world because they're adorable. They're cute to have.
They grow up really
they
fast.
They grow up and then they do nasty things like this.
Exactly.
If you can't handle children, do not have children. Like, we already have enough children in this world. We already have enough humans in this world.
It's sick.
Like,
It's a sick world.
It is honestly sick. Like, you know what? I don't understand why people, like, death penalty on the spot.
Yeah.
I just don't care. I don't care if they're minors. There's no way you're going to make good humans out of those people.
No.
You can't. There's no recovery. No, nothing. It's horrible.
I know,
And then in
it's
India.
So horrible.
India, oh my
So
god.
was it a 31-year-old medical student who was killed?
Yeah.
Was that the story? Yeah.
She was I think she was also gang raped
Yeah.
in the hospital. Apparently her legs like torn apart almost, her pelvic bone broken. She was wearing glasses. It was crushed and glass bits got into her eye. Her eyes were bleeding. I just can't. In the hospital when she's meant to be saving people. I can't.
I haven't honestly been following it much because I literally can't. Like, it's too much trauma. I can't even read it.
Honestly.
It's just... But, like, this happened a few years ago, didn't it? Like, with that the gang rape was it in Delhi? Where that girl was gang raped on a bus and, like, killed. There was so many protests, so many things. But it's just every day. It's like how many women are raped every single day. It's just horrific, honestly.
Like, get help. Like, honestly, I have no words. I don't know.
Me
Like,
neither. I have no words.
and honestly, like, I don't understand how people are not scared to have kids in this society. Like, how are you? If I were to have a boy, like, if I were to have a child, I would want to know. Like, I honestly, I don't think I am fit enough because I would want to know where they are and what they're doing at like 24/7. Because for the safety, how I know what the society is like.
Yeah.
Like, how are you ever gonna have peace knowing that your child is out there in the society when the society is like this?
Yeah, exactly. And I now understand why my mom was so paranoid about me. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Because I fully understand.
But it's getting worse.
It is getting
now.
worse. That's
Like,
the thing. It wasn't that bad.
you can't send your child to school.
Yeah.
This is why, like, you know, yes, I remember when my mom was so paranoid that I had like guy friends. Like, I understand. How do you trust someone?
Yeah. How do you trust? Exactly.
How do you trust a boy that's under 18 years old in school? Would you think like a schoolboy to have this? A schoolboy, like, would you expect schoolboys to be capable of doing something like this?
I mean, I saw like a few months ago that a 17-year-old had raped and killed like an 85-year-old grandma who was literally having a bath at the well, and he raped.
How
and
sick
killed.
do you have to be?
See, and again, like, it boils down to so many things, but also things like sex education in our country.
Yeah.
You know, such a broken system.
Anyway, yeah. But yeah, my thoughts and prayers are with our thoughts and prayers are with the family
victims,
of the victims. Yeah, but I don't know how you're going to recover from this, but yeah. I think there's a special place in hell, definitely.
There's a
for these
special hell
people.
for you, definitely.
Oh my God. I just... You know, I have no words. I think, and not just the abusers, but the people, like the families of the abusers. What are you doing? Is this the best you can do? Like, honestly, why did you have kids? I can't. It makes me so mad. My blood boils when I hear these things. This is what I'm saying. I have. Oh my God. Like, you know, like, honestly, this is very mild down, but I see some people. And I'm like, your parents didn't do a good job. I really hope that you don't, like, in my mind, I think, like, breed. I really hope that you don't breed.
Yeah,
this is why, like, you should be able to pass a test before you're allowed to breed. You need to pass an emotional intelligence, like a mental health test, before you should be allowed to breed. Like, honestly. especially now that, you've got like a population problem, right? You don't need there's so many kids to be adopted. There's so many nice kids that you could adopt, give your love and bring up and to be nice humans
I
to the
agree.
society. You
Yeah.
could do that. And instead you're breeding all these nasty people. Nasty. I can't.
Anyway.
Not a very good note to end.
I know, I was
the
gonna say
podcast.
not the best note to end on, but I think
I
it was
know. We
important
got
to talk
right
about, and like,
Yeah.
yeah, we
But
needed to talk
yeah.
about it. Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway, guys, let
we
us know
just-
what you think. Sorry,
Yeah.
we got really emotional.
Yeah, I know. But stay safe. Take care of each other.
Take precautions,
keep an eye out.
guys. You can
Yeah,
never be too
take-
safe. Like,
Exactly. Take care of your loved ones. Take care of your girlfriends, your boyfriends. Take care
learn
of
self-defense.
Exactly. Just hit them in the balls or somewhere that
Or
affects them.
as Ryan
Just carry
told me,
pepper spray.
Ryan Ryan is very big on my self-defense. He says if you can't get to the balls, get to the neck here.
Oh, okay.
So, or the eyes,
Shall
like
try.
poke them in the eyes. So,
Yeah. Just carry pepper spray. Anything, don't, like, it's not safe out there.
No.
Just keep an eye out for your family, your friends and your sisters, your brothers, everyone. Just, protect everyone. Be a good person.
yes.
So, anyway, but on a separate note, we shall see you in
See you
another
next week,
episode.
and we'll try to make it a
Hope you-
happier episode.
Yeah, but stay safe, drink water, stay hydrated.
Take care.
But yeah, take care, and we shall see you
See you
next
next
week.
time. Bye.
Bye.